Ripple could be having a great year indeed, but there are some problems with Congress. What is Congress trying to push now? And what other plans does Ripple have? Stay tuned till the end of the video to find out. But first, we are giving away 50 XRP coins at the end of the month to one random subscriber to start on their XRP journey. All you need to do is to like the video, subscribe and comment your thoughts on XRP in the comment section. Welcome back XRP Army. The tide has shifted in the cryptocurrency industry. A significant development is taking place on Capitol Hill that might have a significant impact on Bitcoin pricing. As the Federal Reserve continues its research into the creation of a digital dollar, which would put major cryptocurrencies like as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and BNB in competition with one another, one congressman is pushing for a ban on government-backed digital currencies. In a legislative proposal submitted this past Wednesday, Republican Representative Tom Emmer of Minnesota aims to limit the Federal Reserve's ability to issue digital currency directly to American residents, which he believes will lead the country down an authoritarian road. Requiring users to open up an account at the Fed to access a US CBDC would put the Fed on an insidious path akin to China's digital authoritarianism, he said in a statement. It is important to note that the Fed does not, and should not, have the authority to offer retail bank accounts. Despite the fact that Fed Chair Jerome Powell has stated that private cryptos can coexist with central bank-issued digital currencies, CBDC, the congressman claims that a CBDC would allow the Fed to spy on Americans, which would defeat the entire purpose of a decentralized cryptocurrency in the first place. CBDCs that fail to adhere to these three basic principles could enable an entity like the Federal Reserve to mobilize itself into a retail bank, collect personally identifiable information on users, and track their transactions indefinitely, he said. By the way, did you know about this attempt by Congress? Let us know in the comment section down below. The Federal Reserve began an examination into whether it might issue its own digital money in July of this past year. We think it's really important that the central bank maintain a stable currency and payment system for the public's benefit. That's one of our jobs, Fed Chair Jerome Powell said. Later, he remarked that it involves transformational innovation in digital payments, referring to the change that has occurred with the introduction of digital currencies. The Federal Reserve did not provide a specific date, but did imply that they would not rush the process. I believe it is critical that we arrive at a point where we can make an educated judgment about this, and that we do it as soon as possible. I don't believe we are falling behind. I believe it is more important to do this right than it is to do it quickly, Powell said at a news conference following the meeting. The Federal Reserve has not yet made a decision, but Chairman Powell told a Senate committee on Tuesday that the highly awaited study on central bank digital currencies will be released within a couple of weeks. In the meanwhile, the Atlantic Council reports that 87 nations, which together account for more than 90% of the world's GDP, are considering creating their own digital currency. 14 countries, including China, are conducting test runs, and 9 countries have already launched, with Nigeria being the last to do so. Meanwhile, the nations with the greatest central banks, such as the United States, Japan, the Eurozone, and the United Kingdom, are slipping further behind. The adoption of central bank-issued digital currencies by large economies is a highly followed phenomenon among cryptocurrency investors since it is not yet obvious how they will affect the big cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Comment, XRP Army, if you think this won't be that big of a deal for Ripple in the end. However, there is some fantastic news for the XRP cryptocurrency. You might associate the phrase, gray market, with nefarious characters exchanging currency in shadowy alleys, according to the team of American fintech Ripple, who wrote about it in a blog post. Despite this, according to a recent update from Ripple, gray markets have become an unfortunate necessity for those companies who do not have the financial capacity to operate within the traditional payment system. Because of concerns about anonymity in payments, according to the fintech business, informal remittance routes are frequently censured by authorities. However, because there are no inexpensive alternatives, persons in need of a financial lifeline turn to these informal channels despite the risks involved, according to the Ripple team. They went on to say, in reframing the term gray markets to underserved markets, we open the door for potential opportunities to provide a viable recourse for untended communities, making informal payments formal and secure. Do you agree that this is great news? If yes, then make sure to like this video. Ripple also stated that the challenges or difficulties associated with COVID-19 are placing increasing pressure on underserved markets, and that the advantages of digitization serve as an accelerant for payment companies that are seeing greater value in offering alternatives that provide the same benefits of trust and affordability but through fully regulated systems. Valuable in their examination of informal value transfer networks and the inherent danger that accompanies anonymity, regulatory authorities deserve an affordable, compliant path forward for people and communities who rely on remittance payments. The business went on to say that Hawala is an excellent example of a payment method that is not commonly used. This method of making payments relies on an extensive network of trusted contacts, such as friends or family members, that operate around the world, making it possible for people to send money between countries through in-person cash exchanges without losing significant funds to an expensive traditional exchange, according to the authors. Importantly, the uncontrolled movements of money are not necessarily illegal operations, according to the law. As Ripple highlighted, in some situations, they can even be provided by fully licensed operators who just have more liquidity than other, more mainstream channels, rather than merely being more expensive. They also noted the following. Gray market channels are sometimes used by well-known financial brands and businesses searching for more affordable alternatives or lower FX rates. Anecdotally, there are a number of stories or references to brands even operating underserved markets teams. In the meantime, Ripple acknowledged that these transactions are not without risk, while also noting that in the past, for many consumers and some institutions, the benefits have outweighed the risks. However, there have been instances where payments have not been completed and even examples of banks having their funds frozen as a result of an illegal gray market transaction, according to Ripple. The advent of regulated digital payment channels, such as mobile phones and blockchain, was already making it easier and less expensive to send money across borders, even before the outbreak. It was also claimed that, since the outbreak began, the volume of work has likely been reduced even further as a result of people's inability to travel and meet in person. With no safe, easy way to meet and exchange cash, the informal component of gray market networks cannot operate, Ripple explained. RippleNet, according to the company, allows for real-time transactions, highly competitive foreign exchange rates, and complete transparency from beginning to end, while also freeing up working capital and assisting in the resolution of liquidity issues. Altogether, these offer a regulated cross-border payment solution that instantly digitizes and modernizes remittances while providing a fast way to connect with new payments partners, the team at Ripple noted. According to the authors, Ripple allows providers to diversify and de-risk their operations at a time when authorities are strengthening monitoring and a rising number of traditional banks are quitting the remittance market. What do you think about Congress's new attempts? What impact do you think they'll have on XRP's price? Let us know in the comment section. If you want to continue to know about XRP, we have got 2 videos waiting for you on the end screen to check out. Make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Kindly note that prices of cryptocurrencies frequently change, so by the time you watch this video, it might have changed to a whole new value. The information provided in this video does not constitute investment advice, financial advice, trading advice, or any other sort of advice, and you should not treat any of the content as such. The content in this video is for educational purposes only and hence should not be considered financial advice. Do conduct your due diligence and consult your financial advisor before making any investment decisions.